Okay, I found what the problem is. In the parameter file, I made a mistake. Here, if you see, the extract name has comma. Okay, so these options should not be in the for the extract parameter. Okay, it should be for the source DB. So when it had comma here, it is looking for ggec01g1 comma dot cpk. I couldn't find the appropriate checkpoint file. So you need to properly check the parameter syntax. Okay, for example, let us initially it was like this. Okay, let's save it. Okay, and enable the check palms. Okay, check parameters. It will check the parameters. I'm sorry, we have the check parameters here. We have so many things in the extract parameter file we need to clean up. So what I'm doing, instead of running the extract, I'm verifying the parameter file syntax. Okay, to verify the parameter file syntax, I need to enable these two parameters. Okay, this is how you comment a parameter. If you say like this, if it starts with 2 hyphens, that means the line is comment. Okay, so these two parameters will verify the syntax. Okay, the check palms check the parameter syntax. No dynamic resolution. When you say, for example, you wanted to check the parameter syntax as well as the table syntax. Okay, the extract should be able to log into the database and verify the table name is correct. Okay, and whatever the column mapping that you have written in this extract, I did not write any columns here. Okay, there are no column filtering here. Okay, I just given the complete employee name, employee table. Okay, so it's going to retrieve all the columns. All I wanted to make sure every parameter syntax is correct and is the employee name is correct. Okay, is there a dbo.emp table? I want to verify that. I wanted this this parameter file to verify. So that is what is called as no dynamic resolution. Okay, so by dynamic resolution means dynamically it will verify or validate the table when it started capturing the data. Okay, just to make sure before, I just wanted to verify the table name. Okay, so now if you start the extract, it is not going to actually execute start the extract. It is going to verify, and finally it will say all the parameters are verified, everything is great, you can start it. You can uncomment those two parameters and you can start the extract. Okay, now I have purposefully intentionally put some wrong parameter options. Okay, these are the options for this parameter, extract parameter. Okay, it should say this is wrong. You should not say like this, I cannot start parameter parsing failed. It should say that error message. Let us start the extract. Stop. Let's take a look at the report file. Parameters parsed successfully. It did not say this is the problem, but it cleverly commented on. If it has done it, then why it shouldn't say error? Why it didn't say error? Sometimes it just terrifies us. Okay, so let's do one more testing. EMP1. Now let's see what our stop. Okay, Now let's take a look at the report file. Report file now should say okay, good, it is working. It says table emp1 doesn't exist in the database. Okay, so now let's do one more testing. Now if I comment this parameter, okay, no dynamic resolution, that means by default dynamic resolution. Okay, so now if I comment this, then it should not validate the table name, it should just validate the parameter syntax. Okay, so now let's start again. Stop, which is good. Okay, now this is the story. Okay, you say it's parameter process successfully, it did not validate this name. Okay, that is the effect of this line. Okay, so enough is enough. Let's start working. This is supposed to be here. Stop again. Interesting. Oh, we forgot to uncomment that. Okay, so we validated the parameters. We removed all the syntax errors. Sorry, we corrected all the syntax errors. Now we are going to start the extract. Okay, now all the extracts are up and running. There are no errors in the extract files, so it started capturing. Okay, there is no data. In fact, you can take a look at address table. Okay, there is no data in any of the table. Oh, there is some. Probably I might have kept some. Okay, let's delete SQL exec tb. Okay, doc. Now I cleaned up all the data in the. Okay. Oh, by the way, we started capturing all the from all the tables. Okay. So now if you look at the dat, you can see G8 is 3 KB. That means it captured the delete statements. Okay. You can take a look at the log dump. Log dump is another utility. You can, using log dump, you can view the data in the trail files. Okay, I will explain you later log dump story, but okay, so there is no obey file for log dump, so let's copy that file. Okay, so we have the having it here. Okay, so you can see we executed delete command. Okay, so let's see what we did. We just said delete from table. Okay, we deleted with one single command, we deleted bunch of rows, some 10 rows or 15 rows. Okay, so but it captured every delete. Okay, row number 1, delete of row number 1, row number 2. Okay, this is second row delete. Okay, it didn't capture delete without a var class. Okay, so it captured record by record deletes here. So you can see this is the column, the value is 1. That means first record delete of this table. Okay, this is a second record delete of this table. Okay, like that you can click next. This is third, fourth, fifth. You can go to like that. There are 11 records, so we deleted 11 records in one shot, but it captured 11 individual rows in the trail file. So when you generate the SQL, when the Replicat replicates applies this transaction, it will execute 11 transactions on the target side. Okay, whereas we executed one transaction, one command on the source side. Okay, I just want to make sure that because we enable the add tran data. Okay, so now it actively capturing all the transactions. Okay, initially we started with let's clean up all the tables, delete and even delete, updates, insert, all the DML statements will be captured. Okay, so now we cleaned up all the tables. Now let's start inserting some rows. Okay, before inserting, let's configure and start the pump, configure, start the Replicat. Okay, now let's have the complete setup, and after that we'll insert some records in the source table, and we'll see if the records gets replicated on the target side. Okay, but first we deleted some rows. Okay, but if the GoldenGate will try to replicate first the delete statements against the target table. Okay, the target table, I don't know, it might not be there. Think SQL exec TB, that's a table name. Okay, so this table, okay, this is node 2. Node 2 SQL exec doesn't have any records. Okay, now I have added the extracts and I have started the extracts. Okay, and I added the pump, but I have not started the pump. Okay, I need to add the Replicat and start the Replicat. Okay, let us say I added all the groups and I started all the groups. Okay, when I start the Replicats, it will start processing the delete statements first, because that's the one it captured first. That's the first transaction that we created. Okay, it will first replicate those deletes on the target table. Okay, it might fail because the records are not there. It might fail saying that row not found for the 11 records for the SQL exec table. Okay, so we are going to ignore those 11 because we know that we don't have data, but in the target, but we have the data in the source. So I'm just going to ignore the delete statements for the 11 statements in the Replicat, or I can say forget about the trail file. Okay, it contains see this trail file, it contains the delete statements. Okay, so I know that these delete statements cannot be replicated or applied against target. So let's let's forget about this G8. Okay, what is this G8? Okay, so G8 is running, so I can say I can just drop this stop it. Now I need to add G8. I can delete this. Oh, well locked up. Okay, so now I deleted that extract. Now I'm going to okay, so now I'll not have problem of worrying about the delete statements on the target side. Okay, otherwise I have to say ignore errors, or I have to put handle collision parameter in the replicate parameter file. So now I don't need to do that just because I deleted the extract and added the extract again. Okay, so now it's going to be fresh. Okay, so now it's running. Now let's start all the pumps. Okay, now pump might abend, or I guess okay, because and pump will be sending the trail files to gg.dat c:/gg.dat folder, because it is assuming that the GoldenGate is there on the target, and store the remote trail files in the gg.dat folder, but we didn't install GoldenGate in the target, so it will definitely fail if there are any transactions that are going on. Already P105 is having some problem. Let us stop gg. Okay, let's stop all the pumps. Okay, we'll come back after installing the GoldenGate on target. Okay, so installing GoldenGate on target, it is pretty much as same as on the source. Take the zip file. This is the GoldenGate software. Okay, copy it to the installation folder where you want it to be, and extract. That's pretty much it. We installed GoldenGate. Okay, now we have the GoldenGate. Now we need to do the same things that we have done on source. Okay, remember source we have created the extracts and pump. Okay, and in the target we have replicate. Pump could be on the source, or pump could be on the different server. Okay, but in our case, for simplicity's purposes, I have put extract and replicate in the same server. Now let's okay, so we need to create manager service. So if you say info all, ci info all, just manager is stopped. Okay, there are no process, there are no groups that we define. Typically we have to create replicate groups here, replicate process here. Okay, so we need to add manager service. We need to create ODBC connection here, because replicate process will use ODBC connection information to connect to the target database. Okay, so like how source extract connects to the source database. okay, DSN name, and this is the target server name, node 2, and this DSN is for this database. Okay, so it connected fine. Now we created the DSN. We need to install the manager service. Okay, so it installed the manager service. Okay, so let's start it. It said it started and stopped. CGGMGREXC. Let's see what the problem with the manager service. It is not starting the manager process. Okay, it says there is no manager parameter file. Yes, we have not copied or we have not created the manager parameter file. Okay, before that we need to create subdirectories. Okay, because all the parameter file will be in the dir.pom. So to create subdirectories, you have to say create subdirs. Okay, and after that we have to create the parameter files. In fact, I already created the parameter files before giving demo rather than typing right from beginning. Let's copy those files. Replicate parameters. So these are the 9 parameter files, replicate parameter files for the 9 extracts. Okay, this is the manager parameter file. Okay, for remember every group should have the parameter file. So let's copy them. Now you start the okay, it started. All right, manager is running now. Okay, so now we need to add the replicats. Again, what I have done, instead of typing the command, I have created the obey file. I have put all the commands here. Okay, first I delete the replicats. If it is not there, then it's fine. It's going to say error, invalid command, and proceed further. Okay, so here this is how you add a replicate. Add replicate name. Okay, ggec extract, ggpc pump, ggrc replicate. Okay, and this replicate uses this trail file. Okay, this is the trail file that pump sends it to target. Okay, this is how you associate a trail file for the replicate. Okay, now in order before adding the replicate, it needs to create a checkpoint file. Okay, so on the source side, the checkpoint files are stored in dir.chk folder. In this folder, it creates the checkpoint files for every process. Let me show you that. Okay, I'm on the source right now. Okay, these are the checkpoint files for the extract and parameters. Okay, the checkpoint files, these are checkpoint files. Okay, similarly you can have checkpoint files on the target, but optionally you can create the checkpoints in a table in the database rather than in a file. It's a preference, it's optional. You can create either in table or in file. Okay, but you have to there is one file called globals, which is in this. Okay, we haven't created globals yet. We have to create a globals configuration file. In that file we have to specify I wanted to create the checkpoints in a table. Okay, otherwise you have to specify the checkpoint files here. Okay, if the server crashes for some reason, server is crashed. Okay, so if you don't have the checkpoints, if you have checkpoints in a table and you take the backup of the database, then you can very well bring back that checkpoint table and you can work again. Okay, but if server is crashed and you lose the files, then it will be much more difficult to continue. So preferably keep the checkpoints in a checkpoint table. Okay, in order to work with the checkpoint table, first you need to create a globals configuration file and put the checkpoint table in the global configuration file. Okay, so let us globals. Okay, so it says you don't have file, let's create one. If you say I wanted to create one, then it will create the file in this folder directly in the installation folder. Okay, you can see this is the globals file. Okay, it just created. Okay, here you should specify the checkpoint. I forgot the syntax. Let me see if I have the okay, let me copy. It's just one line which says checkpoint table, the checkpoint table name. Okay, okay, that's it. So here you are going to say checkpoint table and the checkpoint table name. Okay, so save it. When you add the Replicat, it will create the checkpoint table. Okay, let us see first. Do we have checkpoint table? Oh, I already have checkpoint. So let's drop that checkpoint table, because if you are installing right from beginning, you will not have this checkpoint table. Okay, so this is the target server node 2 and I don't have the checkpoint table. Okay, so now I created globals file. In the globals file I said checkpoint table is blah blah blah. Okay, chk table something. Okay, now this is the obey file which adds the replicats. Okay, now okay, first it is deleting the replicats and it is erroring out because there are no replicats with that name, and after that it said no checkpoint table specified for the add replicat. Okay, we need to add the checkpoint table. Okay, this is the command to add the Okay, first you need to log into the, first let's add the checkpoint table. Using checkpoint table specification. Where in the globals file, not sure. Using checkpoint edit prompts. Checkpoint table. Oh, okay. You need to exit GGSCI to make that effective. Man. Okay, now it added. Okay, so there is a little information that you may have to aware. Okay, first you need to edit the global files. In the globals file you have to add a line saying that, okay, my checkpoint table name is this. Okay, and after that you have to exit GGSCI to make that effective. Okay, we didn't do that. That's why when we say add checkpoint table, oh, where is the checkpoint table? I don't see it. You didn't specify where the checkpoint file is going to be, or nor you didn't specify the globals file because we didn't exit. Okay, so when we did that, then this command executed successfully because it got the information from globals file and created the table in the target database. Okay, there are small things, it's tough to remember and do it. That's why I document whatever the nitty-gritty information. Okay, so now we have created the checkpoint. Now we are effectively using the checkpoint table. So now when I add the replicats, it is going to use the checkpoint table. Okay, so now let us see the table has been created. Okay, right now you don't see the checkpoint table here. Now this is the checkpoint table, okay, that we just created. So let's take a look at what data it contains. Okay, it doesn't contain any data. Okay, now do we have any process replicats added? No, all replicats that we tried to add failed because the checkpoint table was not there, or checkpoint file was not there. Now we have checkpoint table. Let's run that Uber file. Now you can see here that add replicat command worked successfully. It added the replicat. For all, now everything is added. Let's add. Okay, now let us say start ggr. Okay, starting. Okay, he didn't create the checkpoints for all. Okay, so nothing has been started. So what was the problem? So when there is a problem, we started all the replicates, but none of them started. So to look into the problem, first you need to look into this folder. Here is the folder where the report files are. Okay, so now let's take a look at the report file to see. Okay, it says dermac folder. We use dermac. There is something I need to explain. I use macros for reusing the code. Okay, all the replicate parameter files. If you look, let's take a look at replicate parameter file. Okay, so here in every replicate parameter file, we need to specify what is the target database that replicate should work with. Okay, here I should typically say target DB, DB login, target DB, DSN name, comma, whatever the user ID password that it has to authenticate. Okay, so this is common for every replicate. Okay, this code is common. What is the database connection information? Okay, and also the runtime report parameters. Okay, there are some bunch of report parameters which will report about the replicate process. Okay, so these are the common code across the replicate parameter files. Okay, what I have done, I have taken out the common code. Okay, and I have put them in a macro library. Okay, so I include that macro library here. I say, okay, include this macro library and include the code here, rather than typing the big line, the source target DB, DSN, blah blah blah. Just DB connect. I can name I can write a big command in the macro file, and I can name a macro name for that command. Okay, let's take a look at okay, dermac might not be there. Okay, so let's copy the dermac folder. Okay, so now I have the macro directory. Okay, you can create this macro directory for your convenience. It's not required, but just I wanted to show you something that how you can reuse the code, or you have a bunch of code that you wanted to replace in a particular place. For example, you are doing a lot of column conversion or data mapping or data transformation. You are doing a bunch of logic, and over the period of time your parameter file will be crazy, with a lot of code. You wanted the parameter file to look simple and effective to debug. So in that case, macros will be helpful. The more complex it becomes, you will see the importance of macros. The simple replicate parameter file, you don't prefer that much, but it's always good to know and how it works. Okay, let's take a look at the macro library. Here, see, this is how I connect to the target database from a replicate parameter file. Okay, I have to say target DB, DSN name, the user ID password that I connect to the table. Okay, and here I said this is the name of this code, entire code. I said this is the shortcut name. Okay, and I use this ODBC connect in the replicate parameter file. Okay, so then then in the runtime it will replace this big command. Okay, this entire line here. Okay, so enough about macros. So that's the problem for all these replicates, because I use macros in all the replicates. Now I copied the macro, so every replicate should start working fine. So let's start all the replicates. See, now you can see the moment the replicate started executing, okay, so replicate 7 and 9 have been failed. Okay, so we will look into that later. Okay, when we work with that particular extract and replicate. Okay, so right now I'm a little tired to explain that. So yes, you can see the 7 and what are those two? 7 and 9. Okay, 7 and 9, those two replicates, there is no checkpoint here because they didn't start successfully. Okay, whatever, whichever the replicate started successfully, those have created a checkpoint here. Even though there is no data, it is replicating. It says, okay, I'm fresh and everything is 0, and here, this is in this checkpoint file, this is the group name and the group key. The combination will be uniquely identified for that group. Okay, sequence number is G in the dir.dat folder. You remember G1 0008 005. These are the dir.dat files. Okay, the files. So whichever the file that it is working on and whatever the record in the file it is working on. Okay, the created timestamp, and these are the timestamps, and these are um, the directories of the. Sorry, this is the directory of the GoldenGate. Okay, this is the checkpoint information that these replicates would be working with or needing. Okay, so now we have the replicates, pump, extract, everything is up and running. Okay, except these two. Okay, we'll look into that later, but right now we'll look into the R1, sorry, RC01. Okay, RC01 is the employee extract, RC02 is the department extract. Okay, so let us look into the node 1. Okay, abandoned. The reason why it abandoned because let us start all pumps. Okay, so let's take a look at, okay, GGP105. I don't know why it is failing. Okay, let's take a look at these two pumps to see why these are failing. P105. So first take a look at dir PRT. P105. Okay, this is the one. It says database login information not specified in the parameter file. P105. Okay. Okay, here I commented out pass through. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, pass through means data pump it doesn't do any conversions or mapping or anything. It just passes whatever the extract extract created trail files, whatever the records in the trail file in the extract, it will just pass those records to the target. Okay, it doesn't do anything else. Okay, if you wanted pump to do filtering, row filtering or column filtering or mapping or conversion, transformation, whatever stuff you wanted to do, ETL stuff, then you need to connect, you need to specify the column mapping or DB login information in case of defgen, stuff like that. But default pass through should be specified. Okay, that's the problem with this P1, and I think same thing with P2. Okay. Now let's take a look at it to see why these two are failed. Okay, could not open the checkpoint file. Permission denied. PC05G5. Okay, but we don't have PC05. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Let these two pumps in stop status, because I'm using the range functionality for the fifth extract and pump. Okay, so that's why. So either I should comment on this or this. I wanted to example a couple of things there. So for now, just forget about it. We are going to look into the first extract. Okay, the first extract, it captures the employee table and sends the employee records to the target. Okay, second extract captures the department table. So where do you find that information? In the parameter files. Let's take a look at the parameter files. So this is the ggec01g1 parameter file. Okay, here in the parameter file at the end you can see what are the tables that you are capturing. Okay, this is the primary extract which captures the data. Okay, and related pump, this is the corresponding pump for that extract. Okay, it is directly, it is not doing any mapping or anything. It just passing the records of employee table from source to target. In the target, the remote trail will be 1G, but in the source G1. Okay, G1000. Okay, 6 digits, the sequence number, the file numbers, G1 like that. Okay, so in the target 1G like that. So right now G1 and G2. Okay, let's work with these two and show you how the GoldenGate works. Okay, so fine. Now we have set up the GoldenGate. We have created the extract, we have created the pump and Replicat. We started all the extracts, pumps and Replicats. Everything is running fine. There are no errors. Okay, now let's start inserting and updating some rows into the employee and department table. Okay, this is the extract number 1, ggec01 g1, ggec02 g2. Okay, do we have any records? No. Let's insert some records. So employee, I think I created a dependency, employee dependent on department. Okay, because employee contains the department number, okay, which is foreign key to the department table. So first create the department table. Okay, so first I'm creating the finance table, finance record. Okay, I successfully created the department record in the source table. Okay, so we have okay, so since I already worked with this demo examples previously before I giving demo, so otherwise usually it will be 1, because if you create the table freshly, the identity will be 1. So in that I already used 2 values, so I started creating from 3. Let's take a look at statistics. Now let's take a look at status of all the extracts. Okay, so see, now GGEC0 to 02. Okay, this is the department table. Okay, let's take a look at the statistics. is a command to view the volume processing, okay, to see how many records the extract is processed. Okay, ggec02 g2. It looks like it has not done anything. Let's take a look at and see what the problem is. Department. Okay, now the trend data is enabled, but still it is not capturing EC02 G2. Let's take a look at the parameter file to see if we have missed out anything. It looks like everything is okay, there is no problem, but extract EC02. Okay, so the moment we started the extracts, it deleted the capture job here, CDC capture job. Okay, that is something you may have to notice. Okay, so let me take a look at it and see what the problem is. Sorry, actually we created the record in node 2, not in the node 1. Oh man. Okay, so what is this file? Node 2. Okay, let's keep the node 2 here. This is node 1. Delete from employee. Delete from department. Okay. Okay. Now insert the record in department table. Okay, okay, now we are working on source table. All right, okay, so now department has one row. Okay, now the source table, the statistics, it says one insert is happened. Okay, now let's take a look at the pump statistics. Pump transferred that one insert to the target trail. Let's go to the target. GG RC01G1. Okay, this is running. Stat is RC01G1. Okay, it looks like it has some issues. Okay, the file is 2G. Okay, let's go to node 1. Dirdat. Where is the Dirdat? Okay, Dirdat 2G000. Okay, it's so this file is created, G200 file. Okay, let's take a look at the log dump. Okay, so the log dump says insert, it captured the insert for the department and accounting, whatever the record that we inserted, and the value is 1. Okay, so it captured this. Now it's a 2G here. Okay, 2G should have that information. Let's see. Oh, sorry, actually we should be supposed to be looking at 2. Okay, it inserted one row. The GGRC01G1 is employee table, so we were looking at the wrong group. Okay, so we are supposed to look at 02G2, which is the department table. So it inserted one row. If you take a look at the target, it inserted row. Okay, so now the replication is happening. We inserted row on source table, GoldenGate replicated the transaction, the insert to the target. Now we have the record here. Okay, so if you look at the checkpoint table, it says sequence number is 0. Okay, that means this last digit. Okay, the sequence number is 0. Okay, it is processing 2G with 0 sequence number, this file. Okay, and RBA is 1009. Okay, if you take a look at the trail file, the RBA went up to 1009. Okay, so I'll show you the log details later, but right now this is what the checkpoint says. Okay, but the record has been transmitted to the target. Now let's update that record. Update department. Department number 1. Department number equal to 1. Okay, now we updated the department table. Okay, let's take a look at the department table on the target. Okay, so this this runs against node 1 and this file runs against node 2. Okay, so if I take a look at the, I don't need to go to the node 2 server. I can log into node 2 server from node 1 server. Okay, so if I take a look at department table on the target side, it is updated. So updates are happening. Okay, updates are replicating. This is how the GoldenGate works. Okay, whatever the DML operations that you do on the source will be replicated to the target.